talk about a piss poor loss today for the Bengals. With the loss and the outside shot they had of making the playoffs, it's officially done. All eyes turn towards the offseason. As for the game, it was just beyond pathetic. I mean, this was a kind of game that the leaders on this team played the way that they did, in my opinion, to send a message. There is no way, other than the contractual obligation, which, to be honest, is probably the direction they're going to lean, but there is no way they can bring back Zach Taylor next year. Even in the losses in the past couple of seasons, at least you could say they played hard and kept the penalties down and didn't make mental mistakes, but I cannot fathom why anybody would defend this man's tenure at this point. This team not only loses games, but they've checked out. I personally think they're trying to send a message. And I'm not going to say that they went out there and sandbagged it, but when you play like this, when you put forth this kind of effort, you flat out do not respect your coach or your leadership. And so I just cannot imagine Zach Taylor coming back next year, other than the fact that they still owe him a year on his contract, which, like I mentioned, could be a factor. But all in all, offensively, probably the worst game of Joe Burrow's career. And it's going to be a long week of conversation about this on a national level. As he had his comments last week, seemed kind of down. This week, the effort and the intensity and whatever else you want to muster up in terms of intangibles, it just wasn't there today. And kudos to him for trying to come back, earlier than projected with his toe injury. But this performance by him today is going to lead to a lot of speculation, conversation, and discussion this week. It's going to be ugly, so buckle up. Jamar Chase padded his stats at the end. Was not really engaged early on when it was still close. Offensive line looked terrible. I guess there were a few bright spots defensively with Miles Murphy. He played a nice game, and he's played nice lately. But all in all, there's really not a whole lot of building blocks for this team right now. They're in a lot of trouble. I mean, if it was up to me, they'd fire Zach Taylor, they'd fire Al Golden, they'd fire Duke Tobin. Big-time changes need to be made. This is the third straight season with a 20-something-year-old Joe Burrow that you're not making the playoffs. And that is flat-out unacceptable and inexcusable. And this is Bengals football right now. They're a mess. They're a hot mess. They're not playing hard. They're not playing interested. And that falls directly on the head coach. Just a miserable game. And the fans who did show up to sit in snow-covered seats in terrible weather, honestly, they deserve some sort of financial compensation for having to be treated to that, because that was a disgrace. So, yeah, 3 more games left. I don't really know what I'm looking for at this point. I have been somewhat encouraged with the defense lately, but, I mean, it's just depressing. It really is. And like I kind of alluded to, people will be dunking on the Bengals all week. They absolutely deserve it. It's just, when you think about being in the Super Bowl just 4 years ago to where we are now, it's been a long fall from grace. But yeah, I just want to come in here, vent a little bit about the game as well as the state of the franchise. But if anybody has any comments or any feedback, don't leave behind, feel free to do so. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.